and not able to breathe properly, and obviously, they need to do a surgery and remove the stuff. It took a year to get to the surgery and do that. Care system in Canada, even though it's for free, it's actually not a proactive system. I am sick of going to the ER. I am at a point where I'd rather die in my bed, laying comfortably in my bed, and not going to the ER. Hello everyone, and welcome back to Canada and Beyond. Thank you so much for tuning in. In this channel, Osman and I talk a lot about Canada, what this country has to offer, and what are the potential and the opportunity living here in Canada. So in today's video, I'm gonna be talking about healthcare in Canada. Obviously, a lot of people choose to move to Canada because it has a free healthcare system. So today we're gonna take a closer look at the healthcare system in Canada, the good, the bad, and everything in between. So without further ado, let's get into it. So in Canada, healthcare system, everything is for free. Let me take that back. Not everything is for free. So dental, vision, some blood work, those are not for free. Medication is not for free. But everything else, like anytime you go to the ER or you see a doctor, if you get a chance to see a doctor, those are all for free. You don't pay for anything. Some of the blood work are for free. MRI, x-rays, all sorts of testing are for free. If you are prescribed a medicine or antibiotic or anything, you're gonna have to have medical insurance that you pay for it monthly, or if you are working, your employer will be paying for it, some will be deducted from your paycheck. That will cover your medicine. And trust me, there's a lot of expensive medicine out there. So before digging into this video, I want to tell you that Osman and I were talking about what we are experiencing. We do our own research and then we share information with you. So I don't want to discourage anyone not coming to Canada because of the healthcare system. Obviously, there's a lot of good things and bad things everywhere you go. There's no such a perfect country anywhere. So make sure you do your own research, what's good for you and what could work for you, and then make your own decision. So the healthcare in Canada is available to all citizen and permanent resident of Canada. It's regardless of everything, it's free. The other thing is there are a lot of public funded programs in Canada. So for example, IVF, it's public funded. So you, in some provinces, I think Ontario and Alberta, you are eligible for one round of IVF, for example. In other provinces, obviously you're gonna have to pay for everything. There's a lot of medicine, like, you gotta have to pay for that as well. It's not funded, or it's not even covered under the healthcare system. The other thing that are covered as well is, surgeries, big surgeries. These are all covered from small to big. If you have a personal physician, you can go and visit them and they will run labs and they will run blood work for you to see what's going on. If something, bad happened and you really need to go, you go to the ER and you wait for a couple of hours and you will get, someone will see you and see what's going on. But in Canada, the latest value from 2021 shows that there is 3 doctors per 1,000 patient. If you think about it, think of a 1,000 person sitting in the ER are sick, there's only 3 doctors are taking care of them. So this is why there's a lot of waits in the ER. This is why sometimes people are like, never mind, I'll die at home, or I'll go do some remedies or herbal medicine instead of going and waiting for ER, because the system is absolutely overworked. There's not a lot of doctors or nurses to take care of the amount of people that are ill. So that's why the healthcare system in Canada, even though it's for free, it's actually not a proactive system. So what I mean by that, basically, if you are sick in your stomach, you are sick in your stomach and you go to the ER, they're not gonna run all sorts of lab to figure out what's going on. You're sick in your stomach, they're gonna probably give you some sort of antibiotic, go home, rest, take your medicine. If you are not still feeling well, they might run more labs, but they're only gonna do the basic. So compare that to US, and I know this from a personal experience. A friend of mine, gone through the same thing. So he goes to the ER, he is sick. He spent 2 nights over there. They did few labs, they didn't figure out what's going on. They're like, okay, here's some antibiotic, and they kept him on the ER. They didn't let him go. Obviously, he's paying, right? So, they kept him. But then they kept on running all sorts of tests on him to figure out why his pain and his stomach is not going. They ran tuberculosis, they ran pancreas, they ran all kind of stuff. Then they figure out that he actually is starting to develop some sort of cancerous cells in his stomach. That's why he's having all this illness. And then the antibiotic they were giving him is actually causing more illness than doing the recovery for it. You see, if the same case happened in Canada, because if the system is so worked, they're not going to be able to figure out everything. And I'm not here blaming doctors or nurses. I actually feel for them. Every time I end up going to the ER, I actually try my best to hold it together because I know they're not the issue. Like, they're not the people that I should be mad at, right? So here's a story that happened a few years in New Brunswick, July 12, 2022. There is this guy called Daryl Michaud, died in the early morning after sitting in the ER for 7 hours waiting. Now, the doctors say he had a heart failure. But the family said, okay, our father stayed here 7 hours waiting in the ER. If you were, checking on him or monitoring him, you would detect that his heart is failing and he would have not died. So I'll put the link in the description below. You guys go ahead and read. But this is only one of the stories that I mentioned. There's a lot of stories like that. Many people end up dying in the ER waiting. This is where we used to live in New Brunswick, and that's why I wanted to bring it up. But there's a lot of people dying in the ER, just because there's not enough. And a lot of politicians out there recognize this issue. A lot of them are actually, trying to find solution for it. A lot of Canadians actually know that the system is worked out, and especially because, it's for free. I remember one time we went to where we used to live in New Brunswick. There's 2 hospitals. One big hospital called the Regional. It's like on a campus side, a little bit far from the city. And there's another hospital in downtown. The downtown hospital ER, it's always full. And it's always full with, it's sad to say it, but it's always full with homeless. So obviously they need to get checked in. If they're coming to the ER, they need to get checked in. They need to, get triage and see what's going on. But because the system is free, it became so overrun that people who might not actually need help, they're just there because, it's free. I had a headache, I'm just gonna go to the ER. That, end up overworking the system. And then the people who actually need to be seen or checked out, they just end up waiting. So after a few visits to the ER, you yourself will get to understand that the doctor will either give you Tylenol or Advil or maybe antibiotic, because remember, antibiotics are not covered, so you have to pay for it. So some people actually would, I'll take Tylenol or Advil. Same thing why I had crazy backache. I actually fall off the stairs a few weeks ago. I injured my back. For the whole weekend, I was in pain literally on the bed. I couldn't get up. I couldn't even get up to do any chores. Then I didn't go to the ER because I know what's gonna happen. I took Advil, Tylenol, did not work for me. Then I called my physiotherapist and I went to her. She helped me out, physiotherapy, obviously you all know what they do. But then if you don't have your own insurance from your job or, private insurance, you are not going to be eligible for, like, you're not going to have money for physiotherapy. So in my condition, you're probably going to try like all kind of remedies like ice pack and all kind of stuff, and then see if it would, help you or not. So obviously there is very limited coverage for everyone. Certain services, like the prescription drugs and dental and vision are not covered. And these are very big deal. Like, you would pay at least $500 to $600 for a glasses per your prescription. It depends if it's a high or not. And then same thing, like if you go do like one cleaning a year, just one cleaning a year with dental exam and everything, that could range up to $900 per person. Imagine someone who have like 3-4 kids and the parents. So I just want to also mention the experience that we used to have, for example, in Canada and US, compare the two countries. I know comparing these countries, some of you might not like it, but just, it's our experience. We lived here and there, and I get to try both ERs. So in US, because you are paying, and you're not actually paying much. If you think about it, if you are someone who is working in a company, just like here in Canada, your employer is paying some amount of your insurance, and you are paying some amount of that insurance from your paycheck. Same thing in Canada happening right now, that covers your dental prescription and your glasses. So same thing happened in US too, but you get way better private healthcare system. For me and Osman, we were also employed at that time. We had our own insurance. We were able to use the system properly and get the healthcare we needed. For example, your physical, you can do yearly physical, where the doctor will check all sorts of panel and do all the labs to be proactive, to see what could happen and fix it before it happened. I went few times to the ER because my wisdom tooth was acting up, and they helped me right away. Within like 10 minutes probably, I got checked in and I'm already with the doctor who's helping me and giving me antibiotic and everything. I went the next day because I had a rash from the antibiotic, and they already figured out which allergy I'm having and were able to fix me up. I know friends who her son has allergies, and literally the doctor told her, if you think he have allergy from milk, why don't you give him milk and see if it acts up or not. So imagine like a 5-year-old taking him through this experience, giving him all kind of stuff to see what allergy he's actually having. And this is in Canada, here, New Brunswick. Same thing when I know another friend who her son has, issues in the nose where he's not able to actually sleep properly, 2 years old, okay, snoring and getting, and not able to breathe properly. And obviously, they need to do a surgery and remove the stuff. It took a year to get to the surgery and do that, even though it's for free. Now, for me, as someone, I'll be like, I don't care if it's free or not. I want to get the proper healthcare I needed when I need it. It doesn't matter. Sometimes, like, you're like, I don't care about money. I just really need to do the surgery to fix myself. Money will come later, right? Here in Canada, you actually don't have that option. You don't have the option of, doing a private if you have money, or maybe going to the public if you don't have money. You don't have that option. And in my country, in Tunisia, in Pakistan, in Brazil, I know a lot of friends from all over the world who every country offers them both the benefit, whether you want to do private or public. At least get an option if you want to pursue something. Sometimes literally the doctor, you would wait 3 hours in a walk-in clinic to go tell the doctor, I have this issue. And then he's like, okay, I'll give you this medicine, blah, blah, blah. And they're not gonna do x-rays and run labs. That's like really rarely. And then you're like, I also have the other issue. Can I tell you? He's like, one issue at a time. Literally, one issue at a time. And correct me if I'm wrong, this is my experience, my friends' experience, the people I talk to, this is how they are reacting and telling me about these stories. And I'm just shocked because I am sick of going to the ER. I am at a point where I'd rather die in my bed, laying comfortably in my bed, and not going to the ER. So is this really a free healthcare system that people actually moving to Canada for? I don't think so. So this is it for today. I think you guys got the point. Please tell me in the comment. I'm pretty sure you guys are gonna tell me all kind of stuff. Welcoming all nice and good and bad comments, but please make sure to argue with me. Tell me if I'm wrong. I'd love to hear that. Thank you so much for watching. Please make sure to subscribe, even if you don't like what we talk. I think, just arguing with us, it might, release your dopamine and make you feel good. So make sure to subscribe and follow our channel. We talk a lot about Canada.